What's up guys, it's your boy King Yote back out here with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be ranking every boss in Metroid Dread. And so as of the day that I'm recording this, I just beat Metroid Dread, and let me tell you, that was incredible. Very worth the price, and I would give it a solid 9.5 if I was going to rate it, but obviously there are major spoilers ahead because I'm ranking every boss and mid-boss, and so spoiler warning now. And so if you don't care about spoilers or just don't plan on playing the game at all, go ahead and listen up. And so for some of the mid bosses, I'm going to be ranking a whole group of them together, not individually ranking each type because some of the types are very similar to each other. And so let's begin. Coming in at number 11, we have the central units. They're not really bosses, they're more kind of like mid-bosses and just ways to power up your Omega Cannon to kill the enemy, and so they're pretty much just targets you shoot while you dodge some projectiles. And speaking of the Emmy, coming in at number 10, we have the Emmy. They're less bosses and more of just kind of gameplay mechanics, I would say, that give you power-ups when you kill them and just kind of make Metroid Dread. They're not necessarily bosses, but they're still definitely a great addition. Could be aggravating at times, but they're a great addition. Coming in at number 9, we have Golzuna, which is the sort of crab-looking thing where it's the normal crab, you kill it, and then the X-Parasite turns into the medium-sized crab, you kill it, and then it turns into a really big type crab-looking thing. And I mean, it's okay. It's just kind of a big version of the crab thing. It looks cool, but there's not much special to it. And really similar to Golzuna, coming in at number 8, we have Eskew, which is the big flying bug type looking thing. I forgot if it had 2 or 3 different phases, but it's pretty much just Golzuna, except it's like that flying bug. It has different attacks, but it's pretty similar. But coming in at number 7, we have the robot Chozo soldiers. And so these guys kind of randomly show up in places whenever you go into wide open areas. They can be cool to fight and can pose a challenge, but honestly, whenever you figure out their patterns and just kind of learn how to dodge them and stuff, they're not that big of a threat, and they don't have anything super special. And then coming in at number 6, we have the normal Chozo soldiers. I put them above the robot Chozo soldiers just because of the way they move is really cool, with like the back spinning the staff and the different phase that they have whenever their X-Parasite form like rips open its head and starts spewing all the venom goo at you. And I also love the ending quick time event whenever you block his spear and then you block his spear again, and then Samus pins his face down to the ground and just point blank shoots him in the mouth. It's really cool looking. And then coming in at number 5, we have Drogaiga, which is the big underwater squid looking boss. It definitely is a spectacle boss, but it doesn't really do a whole lot besides just shoot some projectiles at you and move its tentacles at you because it's pretty stationary. And so honestly, it's a cool boss fight. It takes a little time to learn what you're doing, but it's nothing super duper memorable. And then coming in at number 4, we have Corpus, which is the scorpion looking thing that was in a lot of the trailers for Metroid Dread. Definitely a really cool design of a boss and some really cool attacks and a pretty good like first big boss. But I believe I beat him on my first try, and so he's not super challenging, but he's a really cool boss. But compared to our top 3, he just isn't that good. Coming in at number 3, we have, I believe it's Corpus's reanimated corpse experiment number Z-57. And so one thing I found really cool about this boss is whenever you're exploring, I forgot exactly what area, but after you beat Corpus, You go and you find his corpse, and like these little electric guns kind of like shocking it to try to bring it back. But then at a certain point you go past that area and the corpse is gone, and you're like, oh crud, something's about to go down. And it's a really cool boss fight, very big, and it's a very large spectacle, and he has a lot of cool attacks that take a good amount of effort to dodge. But like all of the bosses in Metroid Dread, once you get his patterns down, he's relatively easy to defeat. But I really like the environment you fight him in, and he's just a really cool looking boss in my opinion. And then coming in at number 2, we have Crade. Crade was just a really cool fight. For one, I believe he's the only returning boss in Metroid Dread from other Metroid games, but I believe he's the biggest boss, and the game really conveys that with the different cutscenes, and Samus like dodging him, breaking the platforms and stuff. And I love how you like fight the top of him, and then go down and fight the bottom of him, and then latch on to like the grapple pad and shoot him in the face on the top again. It really conveys just how big he is and how much of a threat he poses. And so yeah, I really thought that fight was really cool. But to no surprise, coming in at number 1 is Ravenbeak. Now I thought Crade was a really cool fight, but Ravenbeak took it to a whole nother level. He was really tough at first, but whenever you got his patterns down, you've really kind of understood what he did. And let me tell you, some of those cinematic cutscenes where you like counter his dash and Samus like shoots him, rolls to the side of his laser, then like vaults over his back, shoots him in the back, and goes under the leg. That's some of the coolest gameplay I've ever seen, and it was just really awesome. And then the final part, whenever Samus like goes all Metroid and gets the really cool looking green suit and like charges up the giant laser to kill Ravenbeak whenever he gets like X-parasited and is in like Crade's mangled up corpse. It was just a really cool spectacle to see. And so yeah, that was every boss in Metroid Dread ranked. And so if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the summer, and so I'd really appreciate you subscribing if you want to. It's free, and you could always change your mind later. That's all from me. See y'all in the next one.